were alone. I heard the ice crack. It wasn't very loud at first, but then I saw the white lines which jagged across the pond, and my heart flew up into my throat.
Davy!
He heard nothing, only the sound of his skate blades hitting the ice and the wind blowing his unkept hair. Watch this next trick, Jamie, you'll love this! The banks, my panic turned to hysteria. I started jumping up and down, over and over, trying to get his attention, but it didn't work. My body had taken over my mind. I couldn't think. Hot, salty water came squirting out of my eyes into my cold, blue mouth, and I was shaking like a leaf.
Davy, the ice!
What?
It's cracking! Davy, it's cracking!
Jamie, I can fly!
Davy, stop!
He landed rather awkwardly, but on his feet, and bowed to his audience of one, 6-year-old me. It was then that the ice gave way and into the freezing water my brother plunged. The cold must have hit him like thousands of tiny needles sticking all over his body. He threw himself onto a triangular piece of ice, but his weight and the weight of his soaking clothes were too heavy. And once again, my brother slid into the bone-chilling water. Jamie!
It's alive. It's alive, Davy! I can see ya!
But I'm too small, and the ice too thick, and my arms too weak. My body is tired to aching, but I can't stop. I have to save him. I scream and chip the ice, try and chip the ice. Chip the ice. Davy is trying to find the hole he fell through, but he's lost all sense of direction and it's not where he thought it was. I look closer and see his face grow dimmer and darker as the pond's inky depths engulf him.
Davy. James, I didn't see you lurking there. You nearly scared me half to death. Wipe your wet shoes on that towel there. I just scrubbed this floor. Well, wash up. It's almost time for breakfast. Where have you been at this time of the morning? And where's your brother? I hope you two didn't go skating this early. I told Davy I don't want either of you on that ice when no one's around. That brother of yours thinks he can do anything he likes. Well, he can't. Being popular and smart is no protection from danger. It's just like his father and all the rest of them. Mama! James! Stop that! A man doesn't cry. How many times have I told you? And what is it? Tell me. James, stop your crying. You'll make yourself sick. Take a breath. Take a breath, James. That's a good boy. Take another. Good. Now, do you want some water? Oh, Deacon, this is an early surprise.
Margaret, is Jamie about? He left my house in such a state. Ah, there you are, lad. Come here to me. He told you nothing about Davy. I thought as much.
Davy? What's he done now? Granted, he's a little scrapper, but he hasn't hurt. Mama, I tried to help him. James, what do you want about? Stop crying. What will the deacon think?
Margaret.
What is it, for the love of God? Has he damaged himself? Take me to him. James, would you let go of me?
Margaret, perhaps you might want to sit down.
I'll stand in my own house.
As you will then. Margaret, I'm afraid Davy isn't going home.
What are you saying to me? My Davy can take care of himself. My Davy is a man.
Aye, he was. He was a man. Young as he was.
Was? Now you're talking foolish. You're making no sense, man. Any moment now you... Would you look at this floor, James? I told you to wear your boots. I just scrubbed it. Look what you did.
Margaret, there was an accident.
Don't you say it.
I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but Davy is...
Don't you dare speak the word. Don't you dare. He's my
New snow had fallen the night before Davy's funeral. It was like a big blanket that covered the roofs, shutters, and cobbled streets of our village with what seemed like a new beginning. But it wasn't. The snow was so white compared to the villagers of Kerrimer, who were all dressed in black as they trudged to Davy's burial site.
Thus sad words will be the poorer for the tragic loss of David Barry. A boy, nay, not a boy, a man, a perfect young man of such promise, a promise which will be kept unfulfilled, in sure and certain belief of life at the last day.
No! Don't. I tried to warn him. Don't. I tried to help him. He would have saved you. You're small and you're puny and you let him die. He was a man. That Deacon was right, as young as he was. He was a man. He would have had a future. What are you saying? I'm saying the wrong son died. Do you understand me now, James? The wrong son died. Oh, my Dave, laying there in that cold, cold water. Oh, God, why am I taking the perfect one? James, will you stay away? You wee small fraction of a person. I don't want you now. Just stay there where you are. I don't want you now. I understand, Mama.
When we got home that day, Mother went to bed and stayed there. Months went by and our house became real dirty. Neighbours wanted to lend a hand, but I was always told to say we berries neither want nor need anybody's charity, thank you. The nights were the worst for the both of us.
Davy, is it you? Oh, Mama. It's me, Jamie. Davy, is it you? Mama!
Davy, is it you?
Yes, Mama, it's me, Davy. I miss you. Time to go to sleep. Oh, my Davy.
Some months later, Mother returned to her household duties with a known efficiency, but the nightly visitations from Davy continued for many years. I even dressed up like him to make the illusions more convincing.
Now riding Kirmure and Angus.
Why did I do that? What was I thinking? I had just left home to attend university and vowed never to return, but yet here I am again, in Kerrimer, the town of my birth. It looks the same, just smaller, but I remember every street and alleyway, every rock and tree. In memory of David Barry, 1853 to 1866, beloved son. This time in Scottish weather I've not been kind. Hello, Davy. I couldn't wait to see you. It's been a long time and I think of you every day. So much has happened. Where do I start? How do I begin?
At the beginning, you silly ass. After you left Kirmire. Where are you? 6 feet under, pushing up the daisies. Where do you think? Tell me about you. Have you had any adventures?
I believe I have. After I graduated university, I moved to London and rather swiftly became a man of letters. A rather short man of letters, oh Davy, I'm still small.
Aye, but you're a
I
man.
used to look up to anyone over the age of 10.
And you're always so sensitive. How'd you get through the day?
I know. Anyway, I started with articles and short stories. And then I composed a longer work, a romance called The Little Minister. It's about a little minister who loves a gypsy girl. And
I knew you'd be a writer.
yes, I later turned it into a play. I don't like it much now. Too sentimental, even for me. But Davy took the nation by storm. Soon I was rubbing elbows with Oscar Wilde and Bernard Shaw. I even played cricket every week with Conan Doyle.
Cheers, lad. Move on.
Davy had arrived. I was sought after. I was receiving invitations to dinners and galas, and in the midst of this whirlwind, I met and married a very beautiful young actress, Mary Anson.
You got married? What's she like?
James, would you please try to hurry, my darling? The cufflink's on the bureau.
Here, let me do it. Your thumbs and you know it. When we go out at night, I do believe you can get ready right after breakfast. Here's your time. Do you want me to do it? You do realize, my big baby, that you are really not tall enough to get away with the late entrance.
I'll have you know, my good woman, your husband is a giant among men. Oh, Mary.
James, don't! You'll spoil my gown and muss my hair. And I do so want to be proud to have me on your arm and roll in Lady Seacrest's gala tonight. What are you looking for? Your gloves are in your pocket, absent-minded.
Oh, so they are. My brain has been quite rattled. Caught up in my newest play.
Is there a part in it for me? That means no. I don't know why you get so caught up. It isn't as if you have anything new to say in your plays, do you, my darling? I mean, it's all terribly clever, I suppose, and workmanlike, but it's also cozy. That's the word, cozy, and dreadfully sentimental. All your plays are. Really, James, if you've seen one, I dare say you've seen them all. Even Bernard Shaw thinks so.
And you married her on purpose?
Well, when we married, she promised to be my inspiration, my muse. I had never known that kind of attention. I thought it was love.
And now?
One might conjecture that ours is not the perfect match. Wildflowers, mother is banned.
Every single day.
Bless her. So this is all there is of you now. This small decaying stone stands for your life, 1853 to 1866. Just 13 years old. You are still remembered, David. My mother, myself, and probably half the town. We all remember you as you were. As you were. David, you will always be 13 years old.
What are you talking about?
You will always be strong, capable, and full of promise.
I like the way you think.
Don't you see? You will be the boy that will never grow up. And in my eyes, and perhaps even my mother's, I will always be in a sort of competition with you. With the little boy that would not grow up.
You can stop calling me that now.
That's it! The little boy that would not grow up. Now, how does one do that? What if the boy, say, had the choice? What would happen? Once upon a time, the story, don't interrupt, in Kensington Gardens Park, that's in London, on a late afternoon, early spring, once was a nanny. Let's call her
Liza.
Liza.
Ned. But Ned.
Shh, you'll wake the baby. It's almost after hours here in Kensington, and I thought you and I might.
After hours, we must go. It's the Ferris time, and
You still believe that nonsense? You're Irish through and through. Come on, let me hold you.
But the baby.
He's asleep, and it's a warm afternoon, the first real one of spring. Let's not waste it. Or are you afraid the fairies might steal him?
They might. And Peter, he's so darling. But only for 5 minutes. If the mistress knew.
The carriage stood alone as the shadows of night slyly approached. Suddenly, a single twinkling light, no bigger than the size of a pin here. Then a white, then a green, then a blue. Fairies. Then silently, ever so silently, the carriage began to rise off the ground. So a fairy took out a very sharp pin. Fairies love pins, and stuck it into Ned's hand very hard. This child is going nowhere. So several fairies took out several very sharp pins and stuck Ned's hand many times over.
What was that?
It's true. All the stories are true. The fairies have him now. We'll never see him again.
We'll get him back.
How? You stupid man, how? Can you fly? Can you get to the Neverland?
The what? The what? The what?
The Neverland. That's where they take them. The babies, all the lost babies. Peter! Peter! Come back! Don't touch me. Ever. My God, I've lost the child. Whatever shall I do? Peter, come back!
The carriage floated to great altitudes. It illuminated the very tops of the trees with a soft pastel glow. High above the lamplit streets, it flew over the House of Parliament before becoming faintly silhouetted in front of the moon and floating behind the clouds. It's night. I told Mother I'd be in just after 4. I must be off. The Neverland? No, not the Neverland. Neverlands. I like that.
So do I. Good night, Davy.
Sleep well. I don't want to go home. Why is it that a perfectly sensible man is always reduced to a child whenever he returns to the home in which he was born? There's the Blue Dolphin pub. No one looks familiar.
Make it fast, Mucker. We close in 5 minutes.
Sherry, please.
Sherry? Where do you think you are? Edinburgh. Sherry indeed.
Then what do you serve?
We serve beer, Mucker. We serve ale. Take your pick.
Ale, then.
Light or dark?
What?
Mucker, listen up. Do you want your ale light or do you want it dark?
Dark, please.
Your name wouldn't happen to be Barry, would it? Do you remember me? Sean O'Rourke. We went to school together. Remember?
It's nice to see you.
No, it's not. We gave you a pretty good going over in that old abandoned schoolhouse.
Did you? I don't remember.
Well, I do. A pretty good going over indeed. You see, Jimmy, is it? Yeah, Jamie. Well, my parents moved here from Ireland. Donegal, you know, and I was so afraid of being teased over my accent and red hair and all these damn freckles. So I took it out on you. Face it, Mucker, you're an easy target. Being so small and so damn smart all the time. You always fought back. Till of course we make you cry. When your brother, leave you rest in peace. But come and wallop us good and proper. God rest him. Here, Jamie. It's on the house.
No, Sean, I couldn't possibly.
Oh, not Jamie, don't insult me. Figure I owe you.
Well, thank you.
Haven't grown much, have you?
I'm not right, I grew richer.
Good for you, Jamie Barry, still fighting back. Not what you're used to, I'd imagine.
No, it's quite.
It's swell.
No, really.
It's swell.
No, it's not.
It's swell.
Okay, it's swill, but it's very good swill.
Here, try this. All right, you lads, closing time. Ah, yeah, get out here. Listen, wait. Instead of going home and waking your mum, why don't you come and stay with me to my house? The missus and I almost never get a world-renowned author in our home.
How did you know I was an author?
Look behind you. Yeah, you play. I saw it. Mind you, I didn't want to, but the missus insisted. Well, I'd never seen a theatrical before, and I didn't know what to expect.
Well, what did you think?
Oh, you don't care. You made your fortune with it.
No, Sean, I do. I truly do.
Oh, well, I don't know about these things, but to me it was good. The way you captured your own little corner of the world.
Anything else?
The missus loved it, and so did I. But in places, mind you, only in places, it felt a bit sugar pie.
Yes, it was sentimental. Sugar pie, as you'd have it. Especially that particular production. There were problems with the leading actress. She wanted the audience to cry from the moment she danced on.
James, please let me play that gypsy girl. You know I can. I promise I'll obey every direction.
What a horrid blunder.
I played her as I felt proper.
Mary, The Little Minister was a smashing success in London and the Americas. It's practically indestructible, but you found a way. You strangled it to the ground and danced a jig on its grave. Do you think I wanted you to be bad? I mean, you danced, Mary, you literally danced throughout the play.
She's a gypsy, isn't she? Gypsies dance?
All the time?
I know. I was dreadful, wasn't I?
Positive. positively awful.
Give me another chance.
You can have anything, just not this.
You hate me very much, don't you?
Not at all.
Then you love to disappoint me.
Mary, other than this one time, when have I ever disappointed you?
All right then. Where are my children? A son or a daughter even, to care for. I know. Dear Papa's income.
Mary, don't.
You, for 9 long years, I've given you everything you wanted.
And I gave you nothing?
You gave me things, my talents, my youth, my beauty, my...
Your love?
Oh, James, you never believed you ever held that, do you? What on earth would you do with it? You're hardly anyone's idea of Prince Charming. Are you? Are you?
I'm thinking of going to Scotland tomorrow to Kerry.
To visit dear Mamma. James, I really do believe that your mother doesn't like me, and I can't understand why. After all, I've always held her in the highest contempt.
Who was that woman? I mean, she was sure easy on the eyes, but as an actress, who was she?
My wife. No need. She wasn't good at it. But for you to hang the poster in your fine pub, thank you.
So what do you say? We'll stay the night, the inn's closed, your mum's probably asleep, and it's always damp and dark at this time of night.
Smar and Draith.
Huh?
Smar and Draith, it's old tongue for dark and dank. I don't much like the words, only like how they sound.
Oh. So you stay then. Oh, you'd be doing me a favour, saving me head from the Mrs. Frying Pan. And if it's that bad for me, I can only imagine what it'd be like for you, with your mum.
Have you seen her at all? My
Oh,
mother?
sure. Every week, going to her church.
And how is she?
Oh, Macker, she's the same.
Perhaps I should stay the night.
Good for you, Macker. I wouldn't be able to face her yet either. Good night, Ursula. Take care going home. That's Ursula. She's a regular. Come on, me lad. You know, it must have been hard, losing your brother like that.
He's a memory now, Sean. Memories are the kindling that keep us warm in the winter. But even now it is. Davy was my mother's world, and mine. He was a man, taken for all in all. I'll never see his like again.
Huh?
Shakespeare, Hamlet.
Oh, there you go again, showing off all your knowledge on me. I'm just playing with you. Oh, wait till you meet my mom. She's a pistol, but be prepared for a few little words.
You meant?
Oh, me love, I was just catching up with some friends from my school days.
Which one, Ursula or Guntrin?
Oh, now, Mo, don't
Now you
start.
listen here, you great Irishman Knox. How long do you think I'm going to put up with this? Irish or no? Catholic or no?
Mo, this is the mucker I was telling you about. I went to school with him, halfway tortured him to death. This is James and Barry. You went to see his play, The Little Minister? You remember. Oh, he's all the way from London to visit his mum.
Margaret Barry?
Yes.
Now, we were talking old times, and old Barry here didn't want to wake his mum, so I figured he could come and stay with us for the night.
Oh, why, of course. The children are all asleep, but if you don't mind the couch, it's very comfortable. Sean can vouch for that. Can I make you anything? A sherry, perhaps?
That would be delightful. Please, Mrs. O'Rourke, don't bother.
No bother at all. In fact, I'll join you. Sean, ale for you?
Why, if you don't mind.
Well, you know where your glass is. I loved your play. See, I even bought the book of it. Would it be too much trouble, I mean, for you to sign it?
With pleasure. To Sean and...
Oh, forgive me, it's Maureen. Sean calls me Mo. He thinks he's being funny, but it's Maureen. Maureen O'Rourke, that's my name. Although, I guess you already know my last name. Thank you. I'll treasure it. Shall we sit? So, what are you working on now?
That's a difficult question.
I didn't mean to pry.
Not at all. It's about a little boy who will not grow up.
So it's about my Sean then, is it?
No, this little boy has been kidnapped.
Kidnapped?
By fairies. Even now they are flying in his perambulator to... Come here, please. Do you see that star? No, not that one. That one, second to the right.
Yes, I think so. Why?
Well, that's where the fairies are taking him, to an island called Neverland.
Neverland.
A land where no one grows up.
But he's a baby. How will he survive? How will he take care of himself?
Quite frankly, I hadn't thought of that. There's a smaller island, just east of Neverland. It's an island, actually, and very drab in comparison to the sun-drenched, multicolored wonders of the bigger islands. I mean, this island is so remote that the sun has almost forgotten to shine on it, as if it's unaware of its very existence.
You mean like here in Kiribir?
It's just like Mrs. O'Rourke. And it is to this island that the fairies have decided to land the carriage and decided to allow to die. Now Peter,
That's the baby's name?
he naturally began to cry. Being fairies, a very self-centered race, they were not inclined to help. The caravan was met by the wise old crow, the self-proclaimed head of the community. She inspected the child from head to toe and proclaimed,
This child needs some food.
Oh, that poor mite. Can't get you anything. More sherry, perhaps?
"That would be delightful. Am I keeping you up, Mrs. O'Rourke?"
No, not at all. I'm having a wonderful time. And you?
I'm enchanted. So the fairies flew off to get the boy some food. They returned with worms.
No, you don't feed a baby worms. He's not a bird. Do you see any feathers? Or a beak? Oh, they'll come when he's older. No, he is not a robin, nor a blue jay, nor a parakeet. He's a little boy, a human boy. And being human, he drinks milk until he's older. Then he should eat solid food. Like worms. No, never worms. Get this boy coconuts. That is milk. He can drink that until he gets older.
Let me handle this old crow. Impossible! Get over here! Irresponsible, you two! Now, the old crow is nobody's fool, and if she says get coconuts, you get coconuts.
But we're tired.
And hungry.
And who cares about a stupid human anyway?
Do it, or shall I tell your father? You know, Flammabelle can get pretty hot over the collar when you two disobey. Go!
You certainly know how to marshal the troops.
They don't call me Hannibal for nothing.
Oh, what I could do with a pack of elephants.
Now, we'll need something for the boy to drink his milk from. Perhaps the corner of his pillowcase. We can poke a hole in it.
Oh, brilliant. Your husband is a very lucky man.
He certainly is. I haven't told him yet, but I'm expecting.
A new fairy. And what will you name it?
Well, Horabelle if it's a boy, after my father-in-law. And if it's a girl, I think I should know the name her Tinkerbell.
So Peter was fed and reared by the inhabitants of the island, always under the watchful eye of the old crow. Years later, Peter, now 6 or 7, he never knew his exact age, I expect he still doesn't, was unkempt and disheveled in his filthy apparel as he raced down the tiny beach, catching raindrops on his tongue, jumping out of trees, and riding on the back of a dolphin.
That boy is afraid of nothing.
Curious to the extreme.
One day, he is going to ask questions that will be very difficult to answer.
Such as,
To be honest, I feel quite done in for one night.
oh, night. Oh, Mr. Barry, it's after 3 in the morning. The time went by so quickly. I'm sorry for keeping you up so late.
You have a beautiful laugh.
Oh, it's loud, I'm afraid. Your story, though. May I hear more sometime?
Perhaps in the morning. I don't have anywhere to be until it's time to see Mother.
Lovely. Well, let me get this one upstairs. Sean! Sean!
Mommy, love.
Come on, you great Irish love. It's late. Let's go. Sleep well. You slept well?
Very many thanks.
You're welcome. I told your story to the children, not about...
How did they like it?
I can't wait to hear more of it. Can I get you anything? Some hot porridge? Perhaps?
Just coffee. I never eat in the morning.
And I would like to too.
Have some porridge?
No, I'm eating with the children hours ago. Hear more of your story.
You liked it then?
It takes me into another world, and since moving here from Ireland when I was a girl, I haven't been much out of this village.
Just let me finish my coffee. Sean is out?
Bright and early, inventory or something.
He's a hard worker.
A fast worker, more like it.
Pardon?
Nothing.
Forgive my presumption, but is anything wrong?
Nothing whatsoever.
I see you're Catholic.
Catholic and Irish, not very original, I'm afraid.
You are. Quite original.
Thank you.
So the fairies, who always had ulterior motives, presented Peter with a gift. Panpipes.
Thank you very much, but if you don't mind, what do I do with them?
You blow music through them. You see, boy, each pipe is a note, and if you mix the notes about, you make a tune.
A tune?
A melody, a song, what we fairies love to dance to at our Wednesday night dances. We're so tired of humming.
So that was the reason for the gift.
Indeed. Feeling a bit embarrassed, Peter blew on the panpipes. It was quite horrid, actually. But then something magical happened. Peter blew gently, found that he and the instrument had united. They had become as one. He forgot everything. He forgot his nervousness. He forgot the group gathered around him. Everything with the instrument was his hands. A single melody line emerged, high, clear and sustained. One note becoming another, then wistfully becoming another, on and on.